Yo, ladies and gentlemen and ladies, come one, come all, grab a seat, grab some ganja, grab some juice, grab some liquor. We're going to go ahead and jump straight back into the Buster Murdaugh trial. Now, it's not a trial. I should say the Buster Murdaugh interrogation. This is some newly released footage, and it's basically SLED, the agents, just interrogating the shit out of Buster. You know what I mean? And Buster does not hold back. He has his lawyer in the car, but his lawyer doesn't seem to want to stop anything. And Buster, it's kind of like, do you hate your father? Why are you saying so much? Like, just everything that kind of incriminates Alex, he's just going along with, just openly and willingly. So anyways, it's an interesting one, people. We're going to hop back into this. This is part 2. Go back and watch my other part 1 if you haven't seen it yet. And yeah, let's just jump straight into this. Before we begin, everybody go and check my Patreon. Everybody who wants to support the channel, go become a member. I love you guys. I appreciate all my existing Patreon members. And yeah, you know, if you want to join the Patreon gang, go ahead and check the link below. Also check out the Instagram. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. Let's get straight into this video.
All right, let's go back and talk a little bit about a guy I brought up earlier, CVRA. Am I saying that right, Rao? Rowe, okay. How long, to your knowledge, has CV worked?
Not long. Yeah. Let's see, he had just kind of been around right before turkey season started, so probably late February, early March area, maybe.
And what is he hired to do there?
He's hired to be just an upkeeper. When we lost our other fella, everything had kind of gotten grown up and a little bit out of sorts, and he was there to, you know, kind of work on equipment if it was broken, you know, plow and plant food plots, you know, fix deer stands, you know, just a general manager of the property.
They're so rich they need a whole fucking manager to keep up their property. That's big money right there. Moselle wasn't no little place either. They were big balling over there in the country. You know,
and that's basically the same thing his predecessor had done.
Yeah.
How did they go about hiring him?
I'm not sure, Dad. I spoke to Dad one day, and he said that he was meeting with a fella that he thought would be a good fit to work out there and take Ronnie's spot. And then I said, okay, great, we need somebody out there. And he's called back and said that he'd hired this fella and that he was going to start working out there and helping.
You ever get any information on him while he worked there? Was he doing a good job? Was he not doing a good job? I mean, did you ever hear from either Paul or from your father or your mother about the kind of job he was doing?
I had heard that he'd done some things that they were displeased with. I know he killed a bunch of sunflowers and other plants, but you know, for the most part, I think he was doing what was asked of him, and you know, wasn't in a huge row about stuff like that. Paul's also very picky when it comes to the property, so he wants everything to be perfect.
He's biting the shit out of those nails. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, damn. Just have a sandwich of nails. Why don't you? I think that's his nerves poking up too. And I just don't know why he's so casual right now. This angle of the camera kind of sucks, but there's not much emotion to be found. You know what I mean? Bro is just super casual, chilling. We got a new upkeeper and everything was all right. So it's just like, bro, like your mom just got blasted away by someone, you know, like some assailant somewhere. And you're just, you know, I don't know, bro.
And so Paul did a fair amount of work out there himself.
Yes. Yeah, Paul did a huge amount of work.
Now, was that his only job, or Paul had some other stuff he was doing, or was it primarily working on the property?
When he wasn't in school, he was really primarily working on the property. I know he had spoken about going and starting to maybe help Uncle John do some stuff over there at his business, but I don't know if that had formed yet. So other than school, it's pretty much either he was at school or he was doing something around the property.
John, your uncle?
Yes.
And what is his business?
It's the Murdaugh Rental Company. He sells rental equipment.
Okay.
They have the city on lock. The Murdaugh Rental Company, the Murdaugh Law Family, the Murdaugh this, the Murdaugh that. Like, it's like a little monopoly board, and they just run this shit.
Should be working over there assisting him with rental equipment sales.
Yeah, and like I said, he had just mentioned, I'm not even sure that it started at all.
So, with CB being hired, is CB reporting to Paul, or is Paul just working in concert with him? Or?
No, Paul just understands some things that needs to be done, and Dad gives us authority when he hires somebody that if we want something him to do, we're allowed to go tell him that we want him to do something. And Paul, would obviously help and would oversee a lot. So, if CB did something, Paul would go and look at it, see what the product was like. But no, in the end, he reported to Dad.
Katie, I apologize. I've been doing a lot of talking up here. If you need to elaborate on something I've asked a question about, please chime in. Oh, well. Okay. All right, so he killed some sunflowers, some other things. Anything else he had done job performance-wise that you heard about? Or
No, just I would get a call here or there talking about, hey, man, CB messed this up. And then I wouldn't put.
Is this from Paul?
It'd be from Paul or from Dad, or even I guess Paul would tell Mom sometimes, and even she would call me and tell me what Paul had said. But that was really about it that I understood. I would shake up, when I'm somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're fucking insufferable, but he's not the one who took them out. You know what I mean? It gets closer to home, people. You guys are they're thinking too far out of the box. This time, you literally have to think inside the box, and those dark, hollow eyes will find you. The dark Murdaugh eyes, they will find you.
And he's still working there now. Is that
correct? Yes, sir. Yeah, he was working there yesterday.
Anybody else work out on the property?
Yeah, we do have a house lady that works inside the house, cleaning the house.
Who is that?
Her name is Blanca.
Blanca?
I assume so.
Don't know her last name?
No, I don't know her last name.
How long has Blanca worked at the house?
Blanca's been working there now for about, I'd say steady. She's been there for a while, maybe even like a year or so.
And so, is Blanca there like every day, every couple days a week?
It depends. Her schedule changes, but she'll come, either a couple days in a row, day, not be there, and then come a day. It fluctuates.
Does she live nearby?
I don't know. I think she lives in Brunson, maybe.
No idea where their employees live. Seems like they don't keep employees very long, the way they're on top of what's his name's head, CB Road, just for killing some sunflowers. I understand it, but it just seems like they don't tend to keep business with people very long.
Anything you can say about her that you know her? Any issues with her?
No issues with her. She's she's just a nice lady. She just she comes in and sweeps and mops and laundry and stuff like that.
Okay. Block ever bring any family members out to the property, or that you know of?
No, sir.
Like that? And so she has access to the house and so forth. Does she clean out on any of the other grounds, or is it just a house thing, as far as you know?
No, it's just a house. And if we do something, she'll also clean the cabin occasionally. But it's mostly everything takes place up at the big house for her.
And when you say the cabin, that's that building when you're coming up the road.
It is.
The kennel's on your right.
Yes, sir.
Does anybody stay in the cabin regularly?
No one stays in there regularly.
Anybody stay in there occasionally?
Occasionally, yeah. Like sometimes if we're gonna have a crowd of people over, we'll say we're gonna stay at the cabin just to give Mom and Dad some peace, not keep them up at night.
How many people will the cabin accommodate?
It's got a double bed. It's got 3 twins and 2 pull-out couches. So if you had to, I guess you could really sleep. You sleep 10 people in there.
A little cabin that could sleep 10 people, man. I'm telling you, the Murdaugh family is balling. And it kind of sucks because I'm pretty sure their empire was at some point, I wouldn't say unscathed, but, somewhat decent, right? But now Murdaugh, Alex wished and washed the money up and fucked the money up so hard that we don't even know what money's legit or not. All those generations of like accounts and trusts and all that shit, it's just like, I don't know. It's all tainted. It was all Alex's fault. Now, their money is, you know what I mean? It's like their money, you don't know if any money they use, you can assume that money was stolen from somebody by Alex because you just don't know. You know what I mean? And that's his doing. If his family was doing it for all those other generations, they were able to do it without people finding out. Now everybody knows and it's on YouTube. That's crazy.
She spent a lot of time there at Moselle.
Mom?
Would you say? Yes.
Yeah. We were there usually. Our kind of routine was we were there kind of when it was cooler and during a hunting season, and then towards the summer when it kicked up, we would be more, and she would be more down to the beach as we all would.
Charles.
Yes.
What about like a best friend? Excuse me. I have flowers blooming in the field next to my house, and I might die from it. It's not COVID. I've been tested. What about like best friends? Like, would she have friends over to the house in Moselle, or would like a best friend or somebody like that, somebody close to her that wasn't necessarily family, would go with her anywhere?
Not usually. I mean, Moselle's such a desolate area.
Yeah.
But her most frequent conversations, truly took place with, who was, but that's really it. I know, she spoke to a lot on the telephone, and they have a place not too far down the road from where our farm is.
So if you guys haven't, picked up, they're talking about his mom's routine, his dad routines, the housekeeper's routine. Nothing really strikes a bell. What's your mom, what did she do outside the house? What did she do when she got home? Like, were there people who she didn't, like, who she was friends with that came to the house every once in a while? Nothing pops up. Now, at this point, Sled has to be all over Alex. I mean, he's the one that found them. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of convenient, right? No, like, come on, bro. It's super obvious. And his son is not even crying. It's almost like, I don't want to start a whole conspiracy, but it's almost like he knew something was going to happen. Like, I don't know. It's weird because the emotion is just not there. I'm sorry.
Strict, deep contact.
So there was really nobody else like she would confide in, or like if something was wrong, did you know of anybody she'd like call up and say, hey, I got to get this off my chest or anything like that?
No, nobody other than those people that I've named.
Okay.
When she would go to the kennels, I mean, was there a set routine to how she did that or so forth?
I don't think so, and I don't know. I didn't go with her all the time. I just think she, and she also she would like to walk. She would walk from the house to the kennel. She would like to do that for exercise, and then when she got down there, I think she just kind of played with the dog. She would maybe feed a dog, spray out a kennel if she needed to, if it was dirty. She'd walk up there. Sometimes I'm assuming we used to get packages at the shed. Maybe she would check for packages.
Dogs themselves, I mean, did any of them specifically belong to any specific members of the family, or?
Well, we would kind of title them that way, but they were all just family dogs. Like my black dog.
I like how he was like, were there any dogs that, specifically were owned by somebody in the family? Shit. That boy Pawpaw, when that dog started barking and blew up the entire case, I bet you the dog was like, yeah, he killed my owner, Paul. I bet you Paul owned one of the dogs to where like you call the dog and the dog comes to you over everybody else. That's when you know that's your dog, you know what I mean? But Shout out the dog who blew this case wide open and Snapchat. That was crazy.
Dogs up there who I claim as mine. But other than that, I know Bubba was a family dog. Paul just had gotten a dog, but he's off at obedient camp. My grandfather's dog would be out there often. My buddy Rogan's dog would be out there often because he worked all day and he would check him into the kennel and then come get him in the evening. And then we had a couple.
Rogan is
Rogan Gibson.
Rogan Gibson. Where does Rogan live?
He's been going in between, but his house is out on. But he's the way his work's lined up, he's been staying with his girlfriend because he's been working it more.
He has a dog out there as well.
He does. He just got a puppy, and he'll put it out there if he needs to go do something for a little while.
And would it be unusual for Paul to be down there around that same time, as far as you know?
No, Paul was always around. Maybe not the kennel, but around that shed area. He liked to work on stuff, so he was usually around any given time around there.
And I ask these questions to lead to something you may have thought about. I mean, when you find out about this terrible thing that's happened and so forth, and you found out that they were down there, was their presence down there of any kind of surprise to you?
No, sir.
Okay. Buster, do you know anybody who would have wanted to harm your mother?
No, sir.
Straight and direct question. Because at this point, Buster, we think it's your family right now. And we want to know if you're in on it. Like, I don't know. Because remember, there was a whole conspiracy that something like it was Alex's plan to like get the life insurance money from them to be able to leave for Buster or something. I saw something like that online. Not sure how true that is, but I think that Buster was clearly the favorite child, you know what I mean? And I don't know. It's just, that's all I can say. He was the most favorite child, and he came out of this unscathed. Obviously, he was living his own life at this point, but still, you know what I mean? He came out of this unscathed, and he supposedly still has a good relationship with his father. It's just it's an interesting dynamic to think about. Like, and they both act the same too. I'm not saying he's in on anything, but all I know is he has that case with Stephen Smith, and he has this shit to where he's just void of emotion. It just makes him look kind of weird.
Anything she ever told you about, any threats, any issues? Anyone you've ever seen threaten her? Anybody else you can think of that maybe temporary work or somebody doing work out of the property who might have come out there for some other reason?
Is he trying to cry right now? Don't even try, bro. Like, if there's no tears, there's no tears. It's obvious. He keeps biting his nails, playing with his nose, and wiping his dry ass face. It's like, bro, you don't feel like crying right now. Stop trying to be an actor, because you're not Tom Cruise right now. You're not selling it for me.
Could be just a contractor that came out to paint something or work on a car or deliver something out there. Anything
No, sir.
that comes to mind that you might be aware of. I know you're not down there as much as the others, sir.
That I knew of, there was nothing on anybody's calendar of anybody coming to do anything, especially that time in the evening.
Dylan's half hour.
As you've had a chance to think about it, and I think I've alluded to this, or maybe even before I've asked it, but I mean, as you've thought of it, I mean, do you have any thoughts about who might have wanted to harm your brother? Anybody?
No, sir. I know people disliked him due to the accident, but I couldn't single out anybody that I know that would want to do what has been done.
And it's like this must have been a crime of opportunity, because there's no way that this lawyer planned this thing out. Because if he did, it was the worst idea ever. First of all, he's going to use the guns from his house, right? Okay. And then he's going to do it on he's going to do it where there's no other, they're way off in the kennel. No one ever comes to this property. So you're going to do it at a super remote area. It kind of leaves you to be the only person. You know what I mean? It kind of just points you out. I don't know if he just saw his chance and was like, yeah, I need to get rid of these two. Let's do it. Because why would you do it there? There's no tire tracks. No, there's no traffic of any sort that really comes out here. All you could say is, I found them shot up. I found them, and the people who shot them was driving around in ghost tracks, was driving around in a ghost vehicle that didn't leave no tracks behind, didn't leave no shoe prints behind, other than, of course, myself and my family. It's, you know what I mean? It's like, why would you even just pay somebody to do it if that's what you wanted to do? You know what I mean? It was a bad move all the way around, I'll tell you that much.
Did you ever spend much time at the kennels and so forth yourself? And when you came down there, did you ever feed the dogs or go into those areas?
No, I would let I would go down there sometimes. If my girlfriend stayed in Moselle, she's real fond of animals and stuff. She'd like to go look at the chickens and whatever, and I'd go let my dog out for a little while and stuff like that. And I'd hang around the shed too, working on little things and stuff. So I spent a fair amount of time down there as well.
So basically, he never went to the kennel. Okay.
Let me ask you this: do you ever have any issues? Like, say somebody's out there firing a weapon or something like that. Anybody ever accidentally shoot any of those buildings in the past or something like that? Let a round off, or accidentally put one through a wall somewhere? Or something
Any of
like
the
that?
shed buildings?
Yeah, any of the buildings out there.
Never that I was aware of.
Anybody? Was it uncommon for anybody to shoot out like in the yard, so forth? I mean, like just out there on the property. I mean, I know obviously there was shooting for hunting and stuff, but out there in the grounds. I mean, was it
Like around the area of the shed?
around the area of the shed, around the house, around the processing area, any of those areas? I mean,
by the house we'd do that's kind of where we did our skeet shooting.
okay.
It was over there by the house, but no, we didn't fire many. I mean, I never shot anything real close to the shed or anything like that. You know, it was more ever if you were going to try to shoot an animal or something somewhere else.
The worst we're gonna make it a thing.
Buster, you got anything else, man? Please, if you've been completely forthright. If you've got anything else to tell these folks, let's go ahead and anything else you can think of.
No, sir, I'm good.
Buster, is there anything you want to ask us?
No, ma'am.
No, sir, I'm good. No, ma'am. I don't know, just super straight to the point, done with it. Maybe he just doesn't want to have anything to do with them right now. Understandable. Mom and bro just got blasted away. But it's just interesting. That's all I can say. His behavior is super interesting. Kind of like in a business meeting. Kind of don't want to be here, but you know it's important, so you're just going to put on face and be there. That's the vibes I'm getting off of him.
Well, I'll tell you what. If we'll step out, I will get the buckle swap thing ready. It's not painful. You ain't got any sores or anything in your mouth, any bite inside your lip recently, nothing like that. It'll be over very quickly.
And
Can
there
I
they
go
go,
ahead and get
taking
out
the
for this?
DNA. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the not uncut. That was the unreleased footage that we haven't seen of Buster so far. I cut it up, spliced it up, because a lot of it is just them asking, preliminary questions, things that came out in court, stuff like that. But shit, man, it's giving very emotionally. No, let me not do that. It's just giving me a vibe to where bro is bro doesn't care, or it's like he knew this was coming, or like he was prepared for this. I don't know. obviously I'm just, somebody over here with a mic talking my opinion. But Buster always gave me an uneasy feeling, just for some reason. And usually when I have an uneasy feeling about people, it's something turns up. So we're gonna keep an eye on Buster. I know the media doesn't want to let him go. If he's innocent completely, then I'm sorry ahead of time, Buster, if you're seeing this video. But I don't know. Anyways, people, that was it. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. What do you guys think? What do you guys think, really? Do you think he's a victim of his father, or do you think he kind of knew what his father was capable of, or kind of knew what was about to happen? You guys hit me up in the comments. Let me know. But until then, you guys, stay inside, stay safe. I love you guys. Go check out my Patreon. Go check out my Instagram. Shoot me a Cash App if you want to. And until then, people, I'll see you in the next one. I'm out of here.